Good morning and welcome again to a new lecture. This time we tend to start with you a series of lectures about what we call literary movements. We'll try to cover the main important literary movements and trends. Because, in fact, these literary movements and trends, they help us understand the literary works and also the conditions and the circumstances which surrounded the appearance and the emergence and the creation of these works. Also, these literary movements help us better understand and grasp the ideological and intellectual also orientations of many writers and poets, and of course these will help us interpret and understand and comprehend the literary work better and better. So we start today with if you can say the oldest or the most ancient or the earliest, you can say, literary movement, which is classicism or the classical if you can say trend in arts. In fact, classicism is an artistic theory and movement also, which goes back to ancient Greece, and also ancient Rome. So its early beginnings, are traced by historians to ancient Greece and ancient Rome. So in ancient Greece, it appeared almost during the 4th and the 5th centuries BC, before Christ. Now for Rome also, its seed is traced almost in 400 BC, always before Christ. So of course at the time there were many prominent and leading figures in this movement. For example, in Greece we can mention Aristotle and Sophocles. These are among the prominent or the most prominent classical or classicist literary figures and thinkers also, and also philosophers. Also in Rome we have the famous two figures. We have Virgil and Cicero. Now, of course, just to mention about the beginning of this movement, also it was mainly associated with drama. So it's since its early beginnings, classicism was related and associated with drama, with drama. The movement of classicism continued to appear, and to live on until the 17th century, when it reached its peak with the French drama. So at the time, in the 17th century, the French drama, was very popular, prosperous, and also flourished. That's why it contributed to the revival and to the rise again, of this movement in the 17th century. 17th century by many French writers and playwrights. For example, we have Condorcet mainly, and also Corneille. Condorcet and Corneille, who appeared in that 17th century, which is considered and called by historians and critics the age of enlightenment, or the age of reason. The age of reason, because as you know, classicism also is based on and it focuses on reason, not emotions. It focuses on reason and logic. So with the rise of the French drama, also with its also focus on reason, like any other type of art or genre of art. So here, this movement grew, up again, and it saw, you can say, the light again and became prosperous, right? As it it had at the time the same principles with French drama, and it's focused on logic and reason. Now, concerning the main features of this movement, of course, right? This movement, right? We said it focuses, right, and it affirms, right, the superiority of logic, of rationality, of reason, clear, over emotions and impulse. So this classicism movement, it prioritizes, right, reason, logic, right, and rationality over emotions and feelings. Because for them, the result of feelings and emotions is going to lead to the collapse of the character. Collapse of the character, and his also tragic end. This movement also, if we can say, it was related, we said, to drama and also to the epics. To the epics at that time, Odyssey, alright, and the Iliad, of Homer, alright, which are considered the main two, important masterpieces of classicism, alright. So it was also concerned with those poems. That's why among its main features that the movement, we say its movement, it stresses and focuses on formal precision. It means in those epics, classical epics and long poems, it produces, if you can say, right, it is concerned with that metrical, rhythm and those patterns which govern, the writing of any classical piece of literature. So focus mainly on the form, also order of elements, of the literary work. Also decorum, it means organization, right, of that piece of literature, right, according to a particular pattern and so on. Also, we say form, order, decorum, and also restraint. It means it must, the literary or the piece of literature which is classical should not be immersed, in that emotional, right, side, that emotional dimension. It must be linked always to reason, and emotions should be restrained, and should be kept away from any classical piece of literature. So restraint. Also we have dignity, the pride, dignity, morality, right. Also symmetry and proportion, symmetry and proportion. This means they mean the logical relationship between the different parts of any piece of literature. Proportion and symmetry, they should be related logically, right, together. For dignity also it concerns the glory of the hero, protagonist, of the classical piece of literature. Also we have proportion, symmetry, decorum, dignity, morality, right. And on the other hand, classicism avoids, right, ambiguity, and also avoids imagination, right. It is based on reason, which is precise in its limits, you can say, right. And also it avoids the lack of resolution. The hero in the classical piece of literature should have, that logical way of thinking must be, determined, right, and resolved in his actions, okay, and he mustn't be shaken, all right, or hesitant, all right, and resorts to his feelings and emotions. He must be, all right, logical, and he must also focus on reason to take his decisions, okay, to take his decisions, right, and he must shun as much as he can any emotional, right, impulse, any emotional impulse or effect. Good. Also, among the main prominent features which the movement is well known of, we have the three unities, okay, three unities of drama, which are introduced by Aristotle in his Poetics, all right, when he said that drama, okay, is based on three main unities. The first one, unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. Unity of action. So the classical drama in general is based also and is related to these three unities. All right. We have unity of time. It means all the play actions should take place within, okay, 24 hours, should happen, okay, within or during only one day. And unity of place, all the actions also should take place in one place, which is the stage, of course, the stage, okay, of the theater. And also unity of action, it means all the actions and the events of the play should be related to one major plot only, clear, and there should be no subplots, or if they are, there should be very few. So all the actions, all the events should be related, okay, and should surround around one major plot, unified, unity of action. Good. Now this movement, of course, we said it grew, right, and prospered in the 17th century, right, mainly with French drama. So it's prospered thanks to the French drama, okay, and drama in general, also drama in general, right. That's why you find it in this movement. It is also one of its main features, but it is mainly concerned with glorifying history and its heroes, the history of its heroes. That's why you find in its masterpieces like the Iliad and the Odyssey, that if you can say, act of glorifying the Greek history, Roman history, with their gods, okay, and with their ancient, I don't know, deities, with their ancient heroes like Achilles, like, I don't know, Sparta, like all these ancient heroes, okay, that belong to their history are revived and are glorified, okay, in this movement, okay, in this movement of classicism, which meant to revive, okay, and restore that pride, okay, of their ancestors, mainly the Greek and the Roman, okay, ancestors, and their heroes and history and the glorious battles of them and everything. That's why we find today, okay, even the classical literature, right, highlights these issues very clearly, like Trojan Wars, gods of Athena, right, Odysseus with his long journey, and everything is concerned with their ancient heroes and ancient history. Heroes and ancient history. Good. Also, this movement, besides to glorifying, okay, the heroes of the past, nowadays some critics, okay, assume that we find some traces, okay, of this movement in some modernist works. They give an example, for example, the Wasteland of T.S. Eliot, right, this long poem, which is full of mythological clues and codes and signs that refer, okay, and that, if you can say, allude to the ancient history also of the Greeks and of the Romans. So they say that these traces also can be read as significant markers of classicism in modernist literature. But as you know, that modernism aimed at what you can say reviewing history, from a new perspective, and not keeping it as it is, clear as it is. Now, among the famous and well-known classical works of literature we have, as we said, the Iliad, right, and the Odyssey by Homer, who documented in them the ancient history of the Greeks and their wars and their battles, right, and of course they are mixed with mythology, and myths, which belong also to these two, right, ancient civilizations. Also, we have the famous work, of Horace by Corneille, and also the French drama is rich, in many literary classicist figures, playwrights and writers. We have Molière, we have Jane Racine, we have Pierre, Corneille, all right, Molière, Racine, and many other, famous French playwrights, because the French drama contributed, tremendously to the revival of classicism, all right, in the 17th century, and also in the 18th century. The movement also boomed, and prospered, but with a new term, which is Neoclassicism. So, for critics, sometimes, if you read books of literature, you find that the two terms, classicism and Neoclassicism, they are used synonymously or interchangeably to refer to the same literary movement, but in fact they have the same principles, the same ideals, and the same, you can say, philosophical, standpoints, Now, the difference between them lies only, in the timing. So, when the movement of classicism, reappeared again in the 18th century, and boomed and prospered, it was called then Neoclassicism. But in fact, it is the same, movement with the same principles of classicism. It can call it an extension, of the previous and the ancient movement, but of course with new literary works and products. Good. Now, this movement also, classicism, has its own styles, which are implemented, in these literary masterpieces, or classical masterpieces. For example, it can be, or the classical piece of literature can be pastoral, it's one of its styles. Pastoral, it is related to shepherds, in the countryside, and also the language is courtly language, noble, high language, elevated language, in the countryside by those shepherds. Here, this form, also belongs to, one of the styles of classicism, or the classical literature. Also, it can be a tragedy, tragedy also, like what we have, I said, in drama, in the plays, is another form or style in classicism, in which we have a play which has an unhappy ending, and usually we have the hero who witnesses his collapse, because of a flaw in his character, a flaw in his character. For example, he discards a reasonable or logical way of thinking, and he resorts to his emotions and feelings, and this resort to feelings and emotions will lead to his collapse. Also, the factor of fate is present also in tragedies, which also if you can say, imposes certain circumstances, all right, on the protagonist or the hero, okay, and leads to his, collapse, all right, to his destruction or end. That's why, classicism focuses and advocates mainly reason and not emotions. And whenever emotions are present, for them, it's a kind of flaw. It's a kind of, you can say, precursor to collapse, right, and to chaos, Another also style of classicism, also which is widely, here used in this movement, besides to, we said, tragedies and also shepherds, we have also the epics like the Iliad, and the Odyssey, all right. The epic is a long narrative poem, which recounts heroic deeds of a hero, glorified deeds of a hero, all right. So this also is another style which belongs to classicism, like Odysseus, for example, the Odyssey, in his epic of the Odyssey, like, for example, Achilles in the Iliad. So all these epics, all right, represent a classical and the classicist literature and movement. All right, go. So this movement, is very important to understand, all right, the ancient pieces of literature. We need to know about why they, for example, focused on certain principles, on certain standpoints, all right, and on certain forms of expression, like the epics, long poems, and so on, all right, and why they also try to always immerse history, and its glories in their pieces of literature, all right. All these questions, are answered if we know, and learn about the principles of this movement, which we hope that we have highlighted today properly. So this is normally all what we can say about this movement, all right, which represents the seed, of the other literary movements which appeared before them. And now, before we, if you can say, end our lecture, I would like just to watch with you, this sample, all right, sample from one of the classical, literary masterpieces, but it is here in an audiovisual form. It is a clip, taken from the film of Troy, which represents the scene of the fight between Hector, who is the Trojan hero, and Achilles, who is the Greek hero. This clip or video also shows how the Greek history is glorified, is portrayed, right, in a noble way, through the winning, of Achilles, against Hector. So let's watch together this clip and enjoy ourselves, with it.
I've seen this moment in my dreams. I'll make a pact with you. With the gods as our witnesses. Let us pledge that the winner will allow the loser all the proper funeral rituals.
There are no pacts between lions and men. Now you know who you're fighting.
I thought it was you I was fighting yesterday. And I wish it had been you. But I gave the dead boy the honor he deserved.
You gave him the honor of your sword. You won't have eyes tonight. You won't have ears or a tongue. You will wander the underworld blind, deaf, and dumb, and all the dead will know. This is Hector, the fool who thought he killed Achilles. Get up, Prince of Troy. Get up. Won't let a stone take my glory.